Hello, my name is Leslie, and today I will be going over lateral gene transfer. So, what is lateral gene transfer? Lateral gene transfer occurs when species cannot create offspring via sex. So, in this case, it'll allow the species to be able to reproduce in the exchange or share genetic material without engaging in sexual intercourse. So let me be specific. By species, I mean units of life, organisms that can define as individuals. So who uses lateral gene transfer? It is really common in bacteria and archaea. But they can also be used in eukaryotics. So don't discount that. An example, us humans, we originally don't go through lateral gene transfer. We have a male, our father, that has the sperm. And we have a female, our mother, that has the egg. So when they interact in sexual intercourse, you have the sperm and the egg that combine together. They fertilize and eventually create a zygote. That zygote then goes on through the process of meiosis, which eventually creates multiple cells. It replicates the cells, and eventually creating the offspring, you. As I mentioned, you cannot discount eukaryotics as not being able to go through lateral gene transfer, because I know it can happen. At least I believe it can. I consider this lateral gene transfer in the LGBTQ community. If you have two females that are trying to have an offspring, or two males that are trying to have an offspring, male and male cannot produce. Female and female cannot produce. However, you can have a female donate her egg for the male to inject his sperm, or you could have a male donate his sperm to inject directly into the egg. So basically what they do is they grab, isolate an egg, they grab sperm and inject it directly to the egg. In this case, there's no sexual intercourse happening. So I feel like it can be considered lateral gene transfer, because eventually that sperm and that egg will fertilize and create an offspring. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on from that. So an example I would like to give about lateral gene transfer is plants. So basically, plants go through the process of meiosis. So in the process of meiosis, you have the sporganium, which eventually releases spores. And that spore is a haploid because it's a unicellular cell. That spore eventually goes to form a gametophyte. And a gametophyte is the grown spore. And depending on that grown gametophyte, it could be either male, which produces little sperms, or it can be in female with the egg. Whatever the case is, eventually those two combine and they fertilize. So that fertilization eventually goes into creating a zygote. That zygote goes on to grow into a sporophyte. And that sporophyte is basically made up of a lot of spores. So I'm going to just draw it here to see if you guys can get a better understanding. A lot of spores. Those spores eventually grow into a sporganium. So let's just say this is the sporganium. It has the genetic material inside. And once the sporganium is ready, it'll release into more spores. If you can see my process, I'm not the best drawer, but that eventually will occur. And that is the process of lateral gene transfer. These plants do not have sexual intercourse whatsoever. You just have the gametophyte. I'm going to put it up here so you guys can understand it. The gametophyte, which eventually, depending, is an egg for female, male, sperm, will go and combine, usually via pollination, where bees get the pollen and throw it around, and eventually fertilize to become a zygote. And that zygote, it becomes a sporophyte, and the sporophyte becomes a sporganium, and the sporganium goes on to create spores, and this process of the life cycle goes all over again. I hope you appreciate my explanation on lateral gene transfer, and hope it helped you as much as it helped me. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.